Hey, it's Shayna. Welcome to Control Chaos, the podcast where we dive into the world of recovery, sharing stories of experience, strength, and hope from those who have been there and made it through. No matter where you are in your battle with addiction, alcoholism, or mental health struggles, know that there is a way out. Throughout my sobriety journey, I have often felt alone and doubted my ability to even stay sober. Starting this podcast in my room just 2 months ago, I had a dream of reaching people just like me, those who felt hopeless. As a woman in recovery, I began with 0 followers, but with a dream of offering hope to even just one person. The mission of this podcast is to connect, inspire, and provide hope to those feeling lost or struggling with addiction. Remember, the opposite of addiction and isolation is sobriety and connection. Let's come together through the Controlled Chaos podcast and support each other on the journey to healing and growth. Hit that subscribe button, leave a review, and let's build a community of support and understanding. Love you mucho. My name is Shayna, and we are here with Beth, one of my favorite, influencers, but also scout peeps, right?
Yeah. Fitness.
Right? So, will you tell us kind of a little bit about you, what it is you do?
Yeah. So my name is Beth Wilkes Farraco, and I am a nutrition, strength, and mindset coach. I have an online business with coaches, and we help people heal their relationship with food, lose fat, get strong, and build a lifestyle that they can stick to without yo-yo dieting.
I love that. So, kind of doing things in a more easier way that you can live with, like friends.
Yes,
Yes.
sustainability. Yeah.
Okay. And one of my favorite things about you is that you are a person who doesn't drink alcohol.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah.
can you tell us kind of how that came about?
Yeah. So let's see. I have been sober for 9 years now. 9 years.
Woo!
August 21st.
Yay! So amazing.
Yeah. And so let's see. I started drinking young, but it really escalated. I'd say my late 30s.
Mhm.
After my son was born, um, I think I was how old was I? I was almost 40. So I'm 51 now, and I quit when he in 2015. So let me see, 12, he was like 3. My son was 3 years old at the time when I quit. But before I had my son, my husband had a stroke in front of me
Oh,
from planting trees. It was like an accidental stroke where the carotid artery in his neck kind of like split.
mhm.
And so at the same time, I found out I was pregnant. He was learning how to speak again. He lost about 80% of his speech. So I had my son about 9 months later after my son was born. I started really picking up the alcohol.
Right.
I think it was had to do with like a lot of postpartum depression. A lot of things were happening. My husband not being the same as he was. Um, and I just started drinking a lot of wine at night. Bottle led to 2 bottles, right? And one day, it was our actual wedding anniversary. And I drove home from a barbecue with my stepdaughter and my son in the car, and I was smashed. Nothing happened, thank God. But that was like the catalyst for me saying to myself, if I continue down this path, someone is going to die. Either it's going to be me or I'm going to end up killing someone on the road. God forbid it be my kids. So I knew I needed to do something. I mean, at that point, I was hiding alcohol from my husband. I was like drinking in the morning. It became an addiction at that point because alcohol is a progressive disease.
Right.
It's okay until it's not. It's just kind of like it gets worse and gets worse each year.
Mhm.
So I decided to go to AA. There was an AA meeting down the street from my house, and I went there every day for a year. So that's how I kind of stopped drinking in a nutshell. But it was one of those things that I knew I had a problem with years. It was like I've actually been in the AA rooms before. It never lasted. I never committed to it. I was always doing like crazy diets that you didn't have to drink during them. Like I was like had eating disorders mixed in with my alcoholism. So I would do like 14-day fasts. I would do, like paleo because it was like you can't drink during, a whole 30, don't drink for 30 days type thing. But
Right.
every time I stopped the diet, I would start drinking again. It would get worse. I was a binge drinker. So every time I started drinking again, it was like more and more and more.
Now,
So
do you
that's
feel like when you're a binge drinker and not necessarily someone who's drinking like all day every day, do you feel like it's easier to kind of ignore it for a longer time? Like you kind of talk yourself into like, I'm not drinking every day all day. I'm just kind of
mhm.
drinking a lot on the weekends or whatever.
Yeah, it's weird. It's a mind fuck. You know what
It
I'm saying?
is.
I think you can convince yourself that I don't really have a problem, right? Because I can stop drinking for 7 days, but then I'll binge for 4 days. And then it's such a cycle. It's like, oh, it's almost I guess like, binge eating, it's like a cycle. Like you binge and restrict type thing. I don't know if you can compare the alcohol to that, but yeah. Yeah.
It kind of does though. Like when you talk about binge eating, you talk about alcohol, right? I know that at one time you kind of had a thing with like cocaine, right? Like back in the day.
Yeah.
So do you think that for you, do you think that you have just an addictive
I would
personality? I always say that about myself. I'm like, listen, it could be anything and I'm gonna
yeah.
get addicted to it. Like I don't know what it is, but
Yeah, I don't like to label myself. I think because when we label
right.
ourselves, we start to like, act as the person that we're saying I am, and like I'm an addict or I'm this, I'm that.
Mhm.
But I do have addictive tendencies for sure. I mean, it started, I was always a drinker, but then drinking was not enough. So I would do cocaine. Cocaine was not enough. So then I got into methamphetamines, and then methamphetamines, like I was like, I can't do this anymore. And so I went back to like alcohol, but alcohol was never as good as the methamphetamines. So it's all related,
It is,
for
and I
sure.
tell everybody once you've done amphetamines, I think that there's this thing in your head that is like, there's not an energy that compares to that, right? So somehow you always are like, but how come I can't have energy like that without the side effects, right?
Yeah, I know, right?
Just not
I know.
possible.
Yeah, exactly.
So how do you think all of this, like especially the alcohol, relates to food? Like as far as making you gain weight, things like that. Like how does it fit into your diet and stuff like that?
Yeah, so alcohol, it's a poison, right? So our body immediately tries to get rid of it
Mhm.
as soon as you start to ingest it. So a lot of things happen when you drink alcohol. You sleep like shit.
The
um
worst.
right, if you have anxiety or depression, it's like pouring gasoline on those. It's like, you shouldn't be drinking if you struggle with those things, especially if you're taking medication. It just Alcohol is a depressant, so it's only going to make you more depressed. It's going to make you more anxious. And when you're out, it's going to inhibit your what is it called, inhibitions, right?
Lower your inhibitions,
You're
yeah.
Yes, that's what I meant. Lower your inhibitions. You're going to eat more, right? Because you're like, oh, well, you need to get sober, so you're going to eat more. You're not really thinking. Then you come home from drinking and you eat more. The next day you eat more because you're hungover. So
Mhm.
it's a trickle effect. I mean, it's one of the one things you can do if you want to lose fat is, eliminate the alcohol or, limit it, because nothing good happens from it. It's a toxin. So I am a huge advocate for people limiting their alcohol, not only because it's a poison, but it does affect your goals in all aspects of life.
It definitely does. And I feel like, even, I mean, I obviously drank way more than regular people should, but I feel like once you pass 30, you're hungover for like 4 days. Like, who has time for that? Like,
Yeah,
you remember
yeah.
when you're like 20, you can drink all night, go to work at 7
Hmm.
a.m., and you just don't feel great. When
Right.
you're like older, it's not
Your
like
body
that.
can't handle it anymore like it used
No,
to. Yeah.
no, you're like dying. You're like, what happened? What
Yeah.
happened?
I yeah,
Oh
absolutely.
gosh. So I guess how do you actually go about starting to do things on the internet? Like what gave you the idea to start doing fitness coaching on the internet?
I was an in-person coach.
Mhm.
So I taught group strength training classes, and I also did personal training. Um, And it was right before COVID happened that my friend Jordan Syatt was starting an online fitness business mentorship for
Okay.
online coaches. And my dad passed away 4 days before I graduated high school,
Mhm.
and left my mom with nothing. So we ended up losing the house. She had three kids, my brother and my sister, went bankrupt. And it was just a really hard time for our family. My husband is in his 50s right now, but when I started my online business, he was about the same age my dad was when he passed away. And I just wanted to make sure that I was okay if something was to happen to him, because I was just coaching in a gym. He owns a business, and if he were to pass away, I would have been left with nothing. So I'm like, I really want to make something for myself, just so I'm able to support myself if something was to happen. And why not change some lives at the same time, right? So I joined Jordan Syatt's mentorship, and one of the things he had us do, the coaches in his group, was to post every single day on TikTok for 30 days.
Mhm.
And I was like, fuck that. This is like something I do not want to do. I'm like, oh my God, like, making videos at the time, like Instagram was still photos, it
Mhm.
wasn't, there was no reels then in 2020.
Right.
So TikTok is really where I started. So I started to make videos. It was uncomfortable, but then I got used to it. I started, using my own voice. When you first start out content creating and making videos and content, you don't really know how you want to show up. But I feel like a
Right.
lot of people are like, they are afraid to be themselves. They don't know what to say and what to do if they're not trying to piss people off or not piss people off.
Mhm.
And so it was really a time of trying to figure out who I wanted to be. And so I just kept creating. And I watched a video from Gary Vee, who was just like, just be yourself, just press record and just, be yourself. So that's what I started to do. And that's when I was like, I'm going to swear. This is like, I was, what do you want to say, censoring myself for a while when I first started, because I
Mhm.
was like, how do I be? I'm like, just be your fucking self. Right. So I started doing that, and my videos started going viral because I was actually being myself. And so I haven't stopped since then. And so that
It's
was
so
really what
funny.
got started.
That's like the main thing that people talk about on your page. And it's so funny because, like, I don't know many people in the real world who don't cuss. Like,
Right?
I don't know if I just don't know the bougie people, but like, I just don't know people who just don't say any cuss words. So I'm always so flabbergasted that anyone cares.
Oh,
But
I
it's good
know.
because it keeps it going. It keeps, people talking, and it,
Mhm.
whether it's good comments or bad comments, it's
Mhm.
helping, right? But I
Yeah.
always find that so strange. Like, out of all the things she cusses, like, who cares?
I know. People get so
It's
bent.
so
It's kind of
random.
crazy. It's kind of crazy to me. It's like you're getting that pissed off about my video. Like you could just scroll on by, Like
And it's just cuss words. Like, there's the
yeah.
most, I've ran into like some of the most, I don't want to say weird, but like, yeah, content creators. Like, somebody's page was like how to be a side chick, and it's like real life, like a side chick. And I'm like, that would be like, something to argue about. But somebody
Right.
cussing, like, if you
Yeah.
don't like it, just
I know.
move on. It's so funny though. I always have to laugh, and your responses are always very good.
Gotta have
Oh
some fun with
gosh.
it, right?
You definitely do, and you definitely are yourself. So that is one of the best things. So, if somebody wanted to lose weight, what
Mhm.
is like one of the first things that you kind of tell them to do? Like, what is one of your, I guess, easy best tips?
I would say to think about what you want to add rather than take away. I think the first thing people think about when they want to lose weight is like, what can I cut out? Right. Like, and
Right.
so they start like cutting out carbs and sugar and fruit and all the kinds of shit, right? Do restrictive diets, but then they never last. So it's like, okay, well, what can you add, right? What do you need that you're not eating right now? Like, how many vegetables and fruits are you eating a day? So think about, can you add more fruits and veggies? What about protein? Can you add protein? And so just really
Right.
thinking
For what?
about what you can add instead of taking away. So that's usually the first thing I start.
Yeah, that's really good though, because I think we always think about like, let's take something away, and then we take
Mhm.
too many things, and then we quit because we don't want to do all that, right?
Yeah, exactly, because it's not sustainable. It's like, who wants to live a life, like, not eating toast or cereal or, it's like, not those foods aren't bad, it's just you're eating too much of them. I don't
I
think people
think
really get that part.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that I definitely have learned from your page is like not to label foods as bad or as like never, but just
Mhm.
that like these are nutritious for me or these are don't have as much nutrition in them. And that's like a really
Right.
good way to look at things because it just makes you feel less guilty too. Like even when you think
Yeah.
about like drinking, when I would try to quit drinking and I was super hard on myself and I would shame myself and
Mhm.
think so badly of myself, I would always end up drinking again. Why? Because you feel
Yeah.
like shit,
Yeah.
right? So I think
Yeah.
it's kind of the same way with food.
You can't guilt and shame yourself to a healthier lifestyle, right?
No, and you can just try to
Yeah.
do a little bit better, and that's kind of what
Exactly.
I've worked on is like,
Yeah.
how can I make changes that I can actually stick with and not
Mhm.
like go back on every 5 seconds?
Yeah, I mean, even if like you said, like someone that's a drinker, right, and they wanna cut back,
Mhm.
even going from 5 drinks to 2 drinks, that's progress,
It is.
for
It
sure.
is.
Yeah.
And I've even changed how, because I started out when I stopped drinking, I was in AA and I was really like strict about AA. And as I've gotten more time under my belt, I've really
Mhm.
like changed things. Like I do mocktails now. I thought that was
Mhm.
crazy before, or just
Yeah.
like different things. And I've kind of realized that like broadening how you think about things really makes it easier to stick to something when you're trying to
Yeah.
change. And I think
Absolutely.
that's everywhere.
Yeah.
Well, is there anything that you want to say or you want people to know about you and the stuff you have going on?
Hmm. I don't know. I think that people should understand that just in life, like, you can do hard things, right? That's my one of my lines is like, "We can
Mhm.
do hard things." I don't think people give themselves enough credit.
Yeah.
I think people underestimate what they can actually achieve.
I think that's really true. I think when I started just telling myself, like, I'm going to do it, scared and all, I started
Yes.
actually getting results and doing the things that I wanted to do because
Mhm.
getting up and doing it is like half the battle.
Yes, yeah, exactly, and doing it unmotivated, doing it just even when you don't wanna do it. Like, brush your teeth,
Mhm.
you brush your teeth every day.
And
It's
who
like,
wants to
okay,
do
so
that?
you make your bed, go to work, I think of my health as like those things are non-negotiables. I do them because they make me feel good. And I think about future Beth instead of Beth right now. Like I think everyone should think about their future self. Like, how do you want to look when you're 65, 70? Do you want to be like in a home on a ton of medication and immobile? Or do you want to be able to move around with your grandchildren, be on not as many medications as, a lot of the people are these days? Do you want to be mobile? So I really think of taking care of yourself now as you're taking care of your future self as well.
That is so true. And it's crazy because I was a CNA at a nursing home for a long time, and my
Hmm.
dad is 73. And my dad can literally like work circles around me. Like he's running around painting, getting on
Hmm.
ladders on the roof. And
Yeah.
some of these people in the nursing home are like 50s, 60s. And
Yeah.
like, I would always think about that, like, oh my gosh, like my dad is like way older and he's
Hmm.
so good in his older age, but it's because he was always doing stuff, always
Yeah.
biking, always just keeping busy, and I think it does make a difference.
It does. Move it
It
or lose it is what I say. It's really true,
Right?
right? It's like you got to continue, or else,
You really
yeah,
do. All right. Well, you have a podcast yourself, right?
yeah. It's called "Cut the Crap" with Beth and Matt.
That is pretty good too. Do you guys do like once a week? Where can they find you? Tell us all the goods.
Yeah. So I record Matt Vandelar. I met him through TikTok, which is funny.
Mhm.
We have had this podcast for 3 years. We record every Wednesday, and we release our podcast on Fridays, every Friday.
Yay.
Yeah, we have
right.
all kinds of people on there in the fitness industry. We talk about all kinds of stuff.
And it's funny. I mean, I wouldn't expect anything else, but it is funny. And you guys, the skits that you do together,
Yeah,
super funny.
we're actually we do meet and greets all over. So we're into
Mhm.
hiking. So we have our followers meet us wherever they say like, hey, are you guys coming to Ohio, or are you guys coming to Utah? So we'll do meet and greets, and we'll meet people like every 3 months in a specific area. So next,
Michigan.
yeah, Michigan. Hey, listen, we're going to
I'm in the
Michigan.
Upper Peninsula.
We're going to Upper Peninsula.
Stop it. Where are
October
you going?
October 10th. We are hiking in Shingleton. We are doing
You
we
know,
are we're doing
it's
painted
like an
rocks.
hour from my house.
Yeah, so if you want to come, we are doing October 10th. No, I'm sorry, October 12th at 8 a.m. Let me get the
Are you going
exact.
to Pictured Rocks?
Yes. Hmm.
Oh, that's so cool. Yes,
We
no, we
are.
have to. I
Yes.
have to come meet you.
Yes. So let me get the information here.
I
Oh
don't know about this
gosh.
hiking thing, but
It's an easy hike though. It's an
what are
easy
we
one.
talking here?
We're talking, no, we make it doable for all kinds of people because of, we want to make sure that everyone is able to do this. So we are meeting October 12th, Shingleton, Michigan, hiking Chapel Beach Loop at 8 a.m.
Okay. Does it cost anything or what is it?
Oh, no, it's free. It's free.
Oh wow, I'm coming to meet and greet. I'm gonna be a
Yes,
fangirl.
you
I'm
need
getting the
to
pictures and
come. Oh
everything.
my gosh, you have to. We have
I'm
about 20
coming. Like you think I'm
20
kidding?
people
I'm
meeting.
coming.
No, you need to. That would be amazing.
I
So
can't
if
believe
you,
I just said that and you're coming
I'm
here.
like,
I'm
oh
like,
my
it's so
God.
pretty. You have to hike
That's
here.
what I keep hearing. So we were in Ohio last year, and everyone was like, you need to come to the Michigan area, the UP. So we made it a point to come to the UP in October. So I'm
That
so
is
excited.
so cool.
Yeah,
That's
I
so
will.
cool.
I will DM you the RSVP so then you can get like details. We email everyone out like the night before and let them know more information. There's really not much information more, but I will
Right.
send that to you so you can sign up.
No, I'm so excited. That's
Yeah,
so cool.
that's so cool.
All right. So, what is your Instagram, all that jazz, so they can find you if they want to follow you?
You can come to. You can find me at Beth Rocco Fitness on TikTok, Instagram. BethRoccoFitness.com is my website. Cut the Crap with Beth and Matt is my podcast, which is on Spotify, iTunes, Amazon, anywhere where you can watch a podcast, listen to a podcast, I should say.
Right. Yay. Well, thank you so much for coming on. It's been
Yeah.
so
Thanks for having
fun.
me. Yeah.
As we conclude this powerful episode of Controlled Chaos, a recovery podcast, I want to extend my heartfelt gratitude to each and every listener who has joined us on this journey of resilience and renewal. These stories are shared with the hope that someone out there struggling in the shadows of addiction may find a glimmer of hope and inspiration. If you're listening and in need of support on your own path to sobriety, please remember that you are not alone. Visit my website at www.controlledchaoscoaching.com and schedule a discovery call today. Together we can explore the possibilities of healing, growth, and a brighter future ahead. Thank you for being a part of this community, for your courage in facing your challenges, and for believing in the power of transformation. Remember, there's always hope, and help is within reach. Until next time, stay strong, stay hopeful, and keep moving forward on your journey to recovery. Love you mucho.